Y'all, Jaguar Wright is back at it again, and this time the tea is crazy hot. Ali Carter has reportedly gone missing after exposing some jaw-dropping secrets about the industry, and Jaguar is not staying quiet about it.
But see, when Ali Carter came back and, also addressed it, now that's just dead. They wanted to believe those phonies. They wanted to believe those fakes.
And if that wasn't enough, she's now tying Angie Stone's name into a murder mystery that's got folks side-eyeing the industry hard. So what exactly did Ali spill that had her disappearing into thin air? And how does Angie Stone fit into all of this? Now, y'all already know there have been attempts on Jaguar and Cat Williams, right? Well, after those failed, the attention has shifted straight to Ali, and let's be real, she's been making a lot of noise lately. Most folks assumed Diddy was behind it, but nope, the real mastermind, ooh, it's gonna shock you.
I had a pimp who sold me to Russia.
Ali's been out here exposing the industry's darkest secrets, and now she's saying she's been hunted like an animal, stalked, attacked, and even ambushed in her own home. She's been spilling tea on the sick, demonic things happening behind the scenes, especially when it comes to children. Just a few days ago, she hopped on IG Live and went off about some powerful figures in the industry allegedly trafficking kids and forcing them into unspeakable situations with animals while they sat back and recorded for their own sick pleasure. She also exposed claims that these children were allegedly chained up and subjected to satanic rituals, and the worst part, most of them didn't make it out alive, and the few who did, they were never the same. Now, if you're wondering why we ain't hearing about missing kids, well, Ali claims they're being shipped in from different places, making them easy to disappear without a trace. And let's not forget, when Diddy got arrested, one of the major accusations was trafficking. But what if it wasn't just for his infamous freak-offs? Allegedly, these twisted rituals were part of the whole operation too, and if you think that was bad, wait till you hear the other horrors Ali claims she witnessed. Y'all, she even spilled that Diddy used to throw wild freak-offs with underage boys and girls, but check this, the boys had it even worse. According to Ali, they weren't even allowed to eat before these events because Diddy and his crew didn't want them throwing up or having to clean themselves out. But get this, some of his associates allegedly had a thing for that, so they'd pick out a few boys, make them ingest things that messed with their stomachs, and let's just say the aftermath was disgusting. At this point, the industry's secrets are unraveling fast, and if what Ali is saying is even halfway true, then baby, the reckoning is coming. Ali Carter is one of the few people who didn't just spill tea on Diddy. She told us about Angie Stone too. People are questioning if there's more to Angie Stone's story than we think. See, before she passed, Angie had been super vocal about her struggles in the industry. She wasn't out here living some flashy, over-the-top lifestyle like a lot of celebs. And yet, after decades in the game, she still couldn't afford to retire. Something wasn't adding up. In an interview, she straight up said, "I have a family to feed. Like, I can't quit because they all depend on me." That's wild, considering she helped launch the careers of artists like D'Angelo and Mary J. Blige. So how was she still struggling? Well, word on the street is that people had been secretly robbing her for years, and just before her passing, Angie was getting ready to take UMG to court over unpaid royalties. She had it after years of creating, performing, and building her brand. She was still waiting on the money she was owed, and instead of fighting for her, the people in her circle allegedly just let it happen. Meanwhile, the label, they were reportedly sitting on millions that should have been hers, all while she kept grinding just to survive. And let's be real, UMG isn't some struggling indie label. It's one of the biggest labels in the world, so why were they allegedly stealing from one of their own? The whole thing is just shady, and now people are wondering if Angie's situation was more than just bad business. Because if what Ali is saying is true, this could be the industry's biggest reckoning yet. The next thing we know, Angie passed away in a car crash, and she was the only casualty.
R&B singer Angie Stone has died in a car crash. We're told she had just finished a concert in Mobile, Alabama Friday, was heading to Atlanta when the van she was riding in crashed. It's still not clear why they crashed or how the other people in the van are doing. The Grammy-nominated artist was known for songs like "Wish I Didn't Miss You" and "No More Rain." She was also a member of the female hip-hop trio The Sequence. Angie Stone was 63.
That alone had folks side-eyeing the whole situation because somehow nobody else in the crash had serious injuries. If that wasn't sketchy enough, the truck driver who hit Angie, he suddenly vanished without a trace. According to an anonymous source, this guy worked for a trucking company, and after the crash, he just up and disappeared. The source claimed, "I used to work with the guy who hit Miss Stone's Sprinter van. He was messed up over it, so bad that he turned in his truck and stopped answering texts or calls. Even my wife reached out to his wife, but no response. My old boss said the guy claimed he came up on the wreck too fast to avoid it, but something just isn't adding up. This source even mentioned that the driver had a history of drinking, but apparently that wasn't a factor in this case. Still, it just didn't sit right. And then things got even more suspicious when Tyler Perry himself spoke out at Angie's funeral and called out the industry for how they treated her. He was heated. He straight up said,
"Y'all gotta forgive me because I'm angry at the way she was treated. I did not know all the things that she was going through. Recently, I found out because I'm not on Instagram. I'm not being hooked and manipulated by an algorithm telling me what to think and how to feel. So I don't see everything. But to think that this woman was in the business for all of these years, and there's a difference between performing because you want to and performing because you have to. All of those years, all of those songs, all of that money that was owed to her, where is it?
"Y'all gotta forgive me, but I'm angry about how she was treated. I didn't even know everything she was going through until recently, but to think she was in the industry for all these years making hit after hit, and yet she had to keep performing just to survive? Where is the money she was owed?" Things took an even darker turn when Jaguar spoke out, suggesting that Angie's passing was no accident but the result of interference from powerful individuals. She allegedly expressed frustration over how the industry operates, claiming that those in control demand their share, viewing artists' earnings as their own, rather than something the artists rightfully deserve. Jaguar also reportedly pointed out that this wasn't an isolated incident, referencing Aaron and Nick Carter as an example. She was said to have questioned why one brother, who had fought for his money, was no longer alive, while the other, despite his controversial history, remained untouched. Her remarks seemed to imply that whenever artists resist the system, they often find themselves facing suspicious circumstances, and just like that, it's looking more and more like Ally Carter wasn't lying when she said Hollywood has a dark side. If what these people are saying is true, it's beyond disturbing. But what do y'all think? Was Angie's death just a tragic accident, or is there way more to the story? Drop your thoughts in the comments, then check out this next video.